What are some guy secrets girls don't know about? Sometimes we don't talk to people because we don't want to intimidate them. I might see a girl with a cool shirt on, but I don't want to make her think I'm coming on to her or something. Rather than freak her out that a 6'6" guy thinks she looks good today, I just leave her alone. Especially if we're on an elevator or something where she can't leave if she actually is uncomfortable. If a guy told me that on my way out of the elevator and explained why he didn't say it while we were still in, I'd definitely think that's adorable. May even want to see him again. You have no idea how much women appreciate it when men understand how complicated and unsafe the world feels for women a lot of the time. Sex isn't all we want in a relationship. I'd rather be with someone who understands me, but only does it once in a while than someone who I have sex with every day, but don't connect with emotionally and mentally. Some of us are into things like cooking, cleaning, makeup, fashion, etc. It doesn't necessarily mean we're gay. Please don't tell us to man up. A lot of us were constantly told that growing up whenever we tried to express ourselves, so you saying it will often bring up bad memories. Men can be abused, men can be raped. Men also tend to be more suicidal because society tells us we're weak if we try to discuss these things. No, we don't enjoy being raped by a hot girl. And we often don't talk about it because people will often straight up tell us we're lying about it if we do. IDK. If other guys feel this too, but I'm always afraid of accidentally making women feel uncomfortable in my presence. For example, when I happen to walk in the same direction as a woman in front of me for a while. And I'm not even interested in women in the first place. My dad served in the Pacific during WW2. A kid from the Bronx. He had never been out of the Bronx in his entire life. Then he got sent to New Guinea. Decades later, as he lay dying in the hospital bed, he told us, as his young friends were being slaughtered by other young men just before they died, they always cried for their mothers, never for their fathers, always for their mothers. He said, they were just kids being slaughtered by other kids. And then they died in his arms. Their last words were always, "Where is my mother? Where is my mother? Where is my mother?" Never for their fathers. That affected him for his entire life. And Dad lived a long time. He was the lucky one. If you compliment my appearance, I will probably remember forever. I still remember when a girl in college told me I look nice with my beard when I first grew it out. I've had a beard ever since. We have the magical power of thinking about nothing. Lol. My wife always complains that she has too much going on in her head. I just tell her it's like a dial tone in mine. I never have stray or random ideas popping around in my head. After a shower, we have no problem drying our balls and face with the same towel. Most of the time we try to dry the face first, then the sack. But sometimes we have to go back to the face. We just hope we use an uncontaminated part of the towel. Edit. Uncontaminated. My balls are clean after a shower. Just, wiping the balls then wiping my face is just kind of, yeah. As an older man, we don't expect you to look like a supermodel as we age together. Yes, at times I do see you as I did 30 years ago and every wrinkle and flaw disappears. Yes, there are times I see every wrinkle and flaw and know how you got every one of them. They are beautiful too. If we tie down anything in the back of a pickup truck or trailer, it's physically impossible for us not to stand back and say, "That's not going anywhere. This is shockingly accurate." Might even be accompanied by shaking the object a bit and looking at your friend for confirmation that he also saw how much it's not going anywhere. Edit. Silver, thank you so much. Men can think a woman is hot without being sexually attracted to her. Men can think other men are hot without being sexually attracted to them. Some men can have a respect for someone's looks regardless of their sex. It doesn't mean they want to screw that chick or that guy. It just shows a level of appreciation for the way someone looks or the way they carry themselves. The nod. When you see a guy you don't know, or kind of know, but don't really know well enough to talk to walks by, you give a subtle nod of your head, which they return. I talked to my wife about it, and she confirms that women do not do this, but that they sometimes smile instead. Eat it. Because it keeps coming up, some girls also give the nod. Typically, an up node is for your friends, and a down node is for strangers or less than friends. This could subconsciously have to do with a baring or hiding of the throat. Thanks everyone for the comments. Edit 2. Some women nod also, I have been told. No need to add another identical comment. As a favor, I worked on a girl's car one time and got pretty dirty. Afterwards, she asked me if I wanted to come inside and take a shower. I told her no, because I hadn't brought any clean clothes to put on after the shower. She just kinda giggled. Yeah, us guys aren't exactly too bright when it comes to reading between the lines. Not sure if this is universal, but guys usually have at least one pastime for which the process and ritual is just as satisfying, if not more so, than the outcome. One example is my morning espresso. If I'm making it, being interrupted or rushed is very disruptive, to the point where I'd rather not have started it. For others, it may be washing the car, barbecue, or shaving. But try to mind when guys are doing something where the means are and end in and of themselves. Being able to fully invest in these gratifying rituals is fulfilling to a surprising degree. That when you fling your underwear off your leg and catch it, you feel like a ninja. It's not that we can't take hints. We are just afraid of looking too far into something. If someone is flirting with me, I have the dilemma of, is she actually into me, or is this just how her personality is? There is an unwritten rule of bathroom urinal etiquette that is never taught to young men, but is somehow universally known. When a man enters a public restroom to pee in the urinal, he is to occupy every other available urinal from other urinating men. Meaning, the prime peeing positions are in urinals 1, 3, and 5 if that is available. 2 and 4 should only be occupied if there are no other choices. If by some unfortunate circumstance you come across urinal 1 and 4 in use, with 2 and 3 open, always go for urinal 3. When 4 leaves, it balance it back out to odd-numbered urinals being used. If we have a goofy hobby and you take interest in it, even the slightest, we love it. I'm a big gamer, and my wife, who also games but not the same ones I play, will often watch what I'm doing, ask about the game, and generally take an interest. Her saying, "Oh, are you looking forward to Anthem?" is really cool, and I appreciate her interest. It's be so easy for her to pay no attention, and her doing so makes a big difference. Most guys, at least that I know of, compliment other men in their heads, but don't say it aloud so that way we aren't mistaken for being gay, which there is nothing wrong with. I compliment my best buds just to see their faces light up. I think more men need to get complimented on small things. It doesn't happen that often. Edit. Hey everyone. Thank you so much for the replies. They were a pleasure to read. Guys like to be complimented too. Nothing makes my day more than having someone compliment me about something random like my shoes. We often get those passive hints you drop, but ignore them because of how we are socialized. Men tell men what they want. If you don't directly ask, we assume it's optional. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, it just is. If you want something, ask for it. We'll often do whatever you like, especially if we like you. If anything, girls don't know that we get random boners in class for no reason. Just because you're my girlfriend, that don't mean I don't ever jack off when you ain't around. Most of us have been sexually harassed or assaulted by the modern definition, like getting your ass or crotch grabbed by someone. And people probably laughed at you when it happened. It bothers most of us, and most of us have probably mentioned it to a close guy friend as a vent joke, like, man, that was kind of embarrassing and fucked up if you think about it, over beers type thing. But we don't really bring it up. A lot times we are friendly and give compliments with no romantic interest at all. We like being nice because it feels good. Also, some harmless compliments are welcome in return. Men are more inclined to spend time by themselves and can be easily more smothered than women. We need time when we get home from work to unwind, and probably time at the end of the day to ourselves to relax. Women, if you're in a relationship, this is probably something he won't bring up, but if he wants time to himself, or is going off on his own, let him have it. It's not that he doesn't love you, he just is easily smothered. Source. Took a class in college about couples dynamics one time. Blew my mind. It was like the professor was talking about me. When we say we're thinking about nothing, we are telling the truth. It's a form of meditation that helps reorganize the mind. A good amount of the stereotypical male activities, hunting, fishing, etc., incorporate solitude for this reason. As life gets busier, these trips are harder to plan, so the meditative process needs to be incorporated into everyday life.